It's collecting is somewhat bizarre in that, well, it's an addiction. It gives you a high. You get a kind of pop when you find something. I was lucky in that I was born in 1950, but I grew up at a time when movies were showing up on television. And so that was a terrific education. And if I had a choice between doing my homework and watching a Greer Garson movie on the early show, I would naturally do the more pleasurable thing. Let me see who is especially beautiful. Well, let's see. Well, here's Kim Novak. She's lovely. So we have Candids. Here she's out showing her beautiful back. And that's a nice original, well-toned. I like the idea of having some piece of the movies. And there's James Cagney and Bob Hope on the set of I Love Lucy. I used to come into the city and buy movie stills. They were like 50 cents and $1 then, and I had my favorites. Some of them are business-like and others are playful. If you have that strong desire to collect, it's necessary to subsidize your habit. And it seemed to me that renting out photos would be a way of having the money to be able to buy more. But we're always looking for that creamy quality that you get. The photos had silver content, so they have a real glow. Anyway, she was just scrumptious. We started in 1982, 83, and it took a while to get started. Oh, I want to show you some of the categories. After a long period of just sitting around, we started getting nibbles. There's Esther Williams, and we just kept growing. I think the best period must have been the 1980s and at least half of the 90s, because magazines were still going strong. It was a thrill. Every Saturday, I would go to the newsstand and look at People magazine. And it's, oh, that's ours, that's ours, that's ours. I'd look at the captions. I wouldn't read the magazine. I'd go straight to the photo captions. That's really the best part. And that was great. It was just a bonanza, and I thought it would go on forever. But somehow, when the century flipped, it seems that the public got younger and less interested in what came before. I don't want to sound like the old man on the mountain, but there are young people who barely know who the Beatles are. It's scary, and things move so quickly. The Spice Girls are already nostalgia. Okay, well, you must have about 2 million. Well, for instance, here's Kiss Me Kate. And the studios used to churn them out. And again, we're in the black and white section. It's different now. They don't do hard copies anymore. Everything that we get is in a digital format. And there isn't the same collector satisfaction of hugging something, but not too hard. Anyway, you can see they're original because they have the captions. I can't do what I used to do, which was to go to a convention and walk in a room and see 100,000 pictures stacked up. And I'd spend hours just sifting through, deciding what I need and what I want, and what I have to have, what I can live without. We must have thousands of pictures of Joan Crawford, but we know that people are going to use the same ones over and over. So it's foolish of me to keep buying more, but I do. Here's what the slides look like. We resisted for as long as possible, but then we became a digital operation and set up the website, which means you have to feed the pictures into the system. And it's like this devouring monster. It's definitely an effort. People say, oh, you must have all of your pictures digitized, and I always think that's just impossible. You'd need a whole army of slaves to bring back the pharaohs. It's just not possible. But we're gradually working on it and adding to it. We have a lot of theater pictures, and in the case of stage pictures, That's really all that's left. It's not like a movie where you can buy a DVD or a TV show where there's reruns. So we're very proud of that collection. There's Henry Fonda and David Wayne and Jocelyn Brando Mullen's sister. And I'm most active in looking for theater pictures because there's naturally less material since the pictures weren't sent out in the thousands. Oh, there's Charlton Heston, like movie stills were. I know that profile. It's a temptation, though, to buy the obscure shows just because they should be preserved. We're not on the verge of destruction, I'm glad to say. But it is scary how quickly things change. I'm old enough to remember when Life magazine would come every week and it was such a kick. You never knew who would be on the cover. And it was a shared experience, enjoying Life magazine, because millions of people read the same magazine. I never say no to photos if they're reasonably inexpensive. It's all different now, but I'm still buying. I can recapture a lot of the glamour that way. She looks terrified, wouldn't you? A lot of collectors just put things in drawers and don't even look at them. It's the acquisition that's exciting, and that's just hair. I don't want to sound self-righteous, but I do feel that I was able to channel my collecting mania into something at least commercial. You can't eat your stills.